We're on.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for another week of D&D. I am your humble DM. These are our players. We had an abridged session last week, but we're back in force. And last time, the party took a dodge of responsibility. You were told by the Hive's Neighborhood Watch, a group of shadow methods, that Blake Sunny had a warrant out for her to be brought before the People's Court in the Hive, which you would know is overseen by Judge Odella Judy. But you decided to run away instead and managed to flee through the Madhouse district and by chance take up residence in Alamora Ravine's artificery shop, which is good because if you had stayed in the inn, you probably would have been discovered by goblins. But barring that, you were able to hang out, and although you didn't get a long rest, you did discover an angel in an iron flask named Ethereal, which you might not be able to realize, but was actually the same angel that you saw over Cedric when you were in the astral plane. Fun facts.
Maybe we would have.
Oh.
I mean,
Yes.
would Theodis or anyone have maybe remembered that?
You might recognize it
After
now
the
that
fact?
this. Yeah. You had a brief conversation. You asked the angel to solve all of your problems and to give you things, powers. I think that Theodis
Is that
asked for
is
a
that how
pony.
it went down?
Yeah. Watch the tape. And eventually, you got the angel to agree to destroy the Quicksilver stuff, or that was your intended plan. And when the Planetar brought its mace down on the Quicksilver, so the first thing that happens is thus. All of you, or if you have more than a +2 to your perception, let me check if that's Copernicus.
I have a +5.
Copernicus
Decent
doesn't
amount.
notice. If you have a high
Yeah,
enough
I have a
perception,
5.
you notice that the clock goes ahead about 3 hours first in the room of this shop, and then there is a little forced opening of a mail slot next to the entryway. You don't hear a noise, but there is something like the beginnings of a warbled noise as the mail slot opens itself up, and there is an explosion from the letterbox. And as that explosion is bursting out into the room, you are brought via this planetar into the Quicksilver, and all of you suddenly appear on a majestic and very, very beautiful cliffhang in a celestial in Mount Celestia, actually. A beautiful, thriving, mountainous, lush plain. The source of light seems to emanate from the top of one of a number of very, very tall mountains, of which the whole realm itself seems to be a range of them. The sky is made up with beautiful purple hues and soft, plush clouds float through the air. There's a very light breeze, and the world around you has a crisp, clean air that you're definitely not used to, having
Yeah.
spent most of your time in the city.
I immediately start coughing up like black stuff from my lungs. Oh.
Looks like you got two
We teleported.
excess
Yeah.
glow in there.
Yep. Looks
Are
like
we all here?
looks like we're in an upper plane, so that's a plus, I hope.
It's very
And you-
clean here.
Yeah, Copernicus says, "Oh, yeah, this is beautiful. I mean, look at that." And he points off in a direction away from the mountains, and you can see what looks like a streaking, beautiful ocean. It's rather far away, or a silvery sea off in the distance.
Is the angel here?
The angel is not here. You do notice, however, a lone figure looking out over the cliffs. And as you approach, she is. Just give me one.
You don't think any one of us would probably know where we are?
I mean,
Being
Bast has
Mount Celestia,
like,
that is.
Well, it's up to Derek.
Oh, wait.
I want to make a check about it, but I like to think that Bast
I
does
will
have
be right back.
a working knowledge of the Outer Planes and what one might expect in general, if not anything specific.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because,
We
like,
knew we would
that
know
kind of
that we
stuff,
were in
that kind
upper
of stuff
plane.
is like for someone from Sigil would be very common knowledge.
Late
Yeah.
at a guy
Sigil,
Like-
City of Doors.
Like oh, Mount Celestia, we're in the lawful good plane. Like, if that's something that how people talk about it in this world, that's where we are. We're on the lawful good plane. So take it with a grain of salt. They might get mad if we do something against their own laws and stuff.
Cool, don't get caught.
But yeah, we were kind of wondering, like, since
Yes.
people from Sigil, they have typically a working knowledge of, like, the multiverse in general, like the way it's layered. So would we have the context to know that this is Celestia?
You might assume, because of the way that the light seems to shine off the mountain. It's an image that would be associated with Celestia, the
Right.
sun, seeming to solely come from the uppermost point in the plane itself. And again, it's not a single mountain that makes up Celestia. It's like a range that seems to come to a particular pinnacle. They call it the Seven Heavens, or the Seven Mountains.
That's so funny. I just
7-Eleven.
Seven Heavens.
That's funny because, like, I just saw that for the first time. I was looking up maps of the Outer Planes. I've never heard of it referred to as the Seven Heavens, and I'm seeing their names now. It's cool.
Yeah, the bottommost layer is typically the one that people from the outer planes, or from planes not in Celestia, would find themselves. So you, even with basic kind of planar knowledge, you would assume that that is the case.
So-
and you see a woman in very resplendent mithril armor looking off, and when you get closer to her, you can see that there is a small civilization, a small village at the bottom of this mountain pass,
Are we
or
at
this
where
cliffhang that you're on?
So, but this cliffhang, it's towards the base of the mountain.
It's in the midst of the range. It's closer to the base, yes.
But okay, yeah, that's fine. Cool.
The woman turns around, and you can see that she's got a beautiful and ornate jeweled helmet, which she takes off, and she has long white hair, papery pale skin, and glowing red eyes. And there seems to be almost a radiant glow. I know I'm using that word a lot, but there is a radiance that exudes from her, and a feeling of extreme serenity. To pretty much everyone, except for Ruzo in particular, you might find this realm to be less sublime and ornately beautiful than almost intimidatingly towering and oppressive in some ways. Hot.
Great.
And the woman looks at the group of you and says, "So it is as spoken by the angel Ethereal. You've been brought here to Lunia, the first of the seven heavens, for a purpose greater than yourselves.
You're
If
telling
what
me
I've heard is true."
You're telling me that that angel knew exactly what he was doing when he struck the substance?
And the woman says, Ethereal is wise beyond measure, and his powers at all times seek reconciliation with the Revealer. My name is Elsha Irewind, and I am a cleric of the light of the way.
Oh. Well,
And I believe that you may be able to help. We may be able to help each other.
and honestly, just by the sheer virtue of where we are, I'm more inclined just to help you than anyone else I've ever met. Given many of the circumstances. I'm a pretty solid follower in the alignment system of the universe.
And she says, of course, nothing is ever quite that simple. But yes, our virtues are what bless us and what bring us the light that we can shine through others. In the lawful planes, it seems as if some kind of spell has taken effect so that the Fey creatures are fallen into some kind of dark coma. They're unable to be roused, even with powerful magics. It is believed that the mage responsible goes by the name Earthamon. Earthamon the Discordant. And that he has erected a tower which he can use, which he can teleport different places across the universe. More recently, the tower has been brought here at the intersection of the plains of Bytopia, Arcadia, and Mount Celestia behind Bahamut's Grand Palace. And although no one's entirely sure of the nature of Earthamon's enterprise, and she looks at you, Blake Sunny, one of your kind, has been recently cast to enter the tower along with the party of adventurers, Matin the Grey, Ardwin Torith, and Corellian Firum, 2 elves, and a wizard of great power.
And the renowned patriarch of the Sunny family, it would seem.
That's your dad.
The final member was a powerful owl folk who was brought to this plane by forces greater than himself. It must be the same forces which have brought you here.
Yeah.
You
He's
greater
probably
forces really like to
Hello.
rub it in, don't you? Greater than yourself.
And she says, by the light of great Lathander, all things are possible.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean Lathander.
Who's Jesus? I was like, who's Jesus?
We're on the other side of the universe from him. Well, I'm Bast.
She nods. Copernicus says,
I'm
oh,
Theodis.
hi, I'm Copernicus.
My name's Russo.
What?
You're not Russo.
I guess I'm Blake then.
Don't
Okay,
mix
I
them
don't
up.
like you being Blake. I'm Blake. Sorry.
And
I won't be
the
Theodis.
woman
slapped
says,
Blake.
the angel has told me that it is your father who's there in the tower. Unfortunately, since they entered, no word has been sent back as to their safety. And I fear that time may be of the essence in retrieving them safely and alive. So,
Let's go.
if we
You're
don't
really
have
lucky.
anything... Oh, yes, go ahead.
You're really lucky. You know that?
Lucky.
Bringing us here
How's
off
she
our
lucky?
course. We had a goal. You got in the way of that goal. You're lucky. My dad was. He'd probably be mad.
So you will accept this quest and follow me to Earthamon's tower to face whatever nefarious forces lie within.
And it's us.
Yeah.
It's us because we freed your friend, and he's like, haha, lackeys, off with me.
Mhm.
Is that the situation?
He lied. You know?
I thought
Elsha
we had a fair
says-
exchange. His freedom, and as a reward, he attempted to destroy the stuff. Instead, it seems he brought us here for ulterior means, be them magnanimous or good, if you like using the word or not. Sounds like we've just been pulled from one scheme to another.
Elsha says, the angel, to be perfectly frank, is rather cross with me and speaks of my obligations and not my charity. But I can act as your guide if you do choose to accept this mission. And you can see that she has a satchel that she's beginning to pull out from behind her shoulder. The angel has brought gifts should you choose to accept this task. In accordance with your request, it says.
We don't have the Quicksilver, do we? Is it gone?
You still do have the Quicksilver.
God damn it.
Yes.
For
Can't get rid of
God's
it.
sake.
Just
I'll get rid
throw
of
it.
this thing.
Like into the ground for a bit.
Oh my god. Take this. I hand it
I'll
to
keep it.
Elsha.
Elsha takes the substance, and you can see
You take this and we'll do whatever you want.
that this is a very interesting turn of events. 1 second.
Bast is
Things he
look,
wasn't
that's where-
expecting.
the Bass is done with this shit. It's gotten us into no ends of trouble. Whoever
Yeah.
he does at this point.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't trust any player from Sigil. Elsha's not from Sigil.
We found Blake's dad, which is like one of the things we needed it for. So like,
Very interesting. She takes it. You can see that for a moment her eyes glow white, and she speaks in a voice which carries over and resounds across the hills. Untold, boundless universes. The door to all doors will bring about the great light, is what she says.
The
But her voice echoes.
The door to all doors will bring about the great light.
Yes.
I like it here. The people are low
And-
key.
She says, I had not thought my task included such, but yes, I will take this artifact from you and swear my fealty if you shall rid the lawful planes of the curse which has been brought upon by Earthamon. And she gets on one knee and bows before the group of you. The Quicksilver's still in her hand, which radiates a bright light, which you can see appears to be pointing in a particular direction.
Are you saying Earthamon or Zerthamon?
Earthamon. I
Okay.
knew this was going to be a question.
Okay.
Come on.
You don't have to
Discord.
do that. You can stand up.
No, yeah,
She
yeah.
rises.
We'll go with you.
These gifts,
Yeah.
ethereal, made at your request, it says. And it pulls out a number of items for you. And she points to the kobold. This house, which can grow at your very whim. And she provides him with a small capsule. Copernicus tosses it about
fuck?
15 feet, and a pretty large-sized house pops.
Capsule
appears.
house.
Capsule Corp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Copernicus says, "Wow, that's amazing!" And he returns it back to its capsule form for you. And she goes to Blake Sunny next, a scroll, and you can see that it's a remove curse scroll.
Oh, thank God. Thank you.
And
Yeah, you're still cursed, aren't you?
Wait, what
she
curse?
goes
You're real school cursed, kind of.
was
That
cursed by
creature in the
Caddix.
alleyway.
The dark figure in the
We were cursed twice,
last
actually.
session.
In our first session, we
I
had
met
massive stats, so we got cursed down to 0.
Yes, I guess that's
I
fair.
am not going to
It-
undo that one, because I
that-
don't want all that
no.
power.
Yeah, we'll say that curse is forever in effect. Next, for the one who asked for power, she goes up to Bast and
I didn't know.
hands you a small amber stone.
I'll take it.
She says, "This will allow you to cast Sacred Flame." And
Okay.
for
Thank you.
and she goes over to Ruzo, and she has a vial of holy water in her hand, and you instinctively kind of back away. She says, "No, child." And she reaches out for your hand, and she puts the vial in it, and she says, "So long as you have this, you won't be harmed by hallowed spaces or creatures." I'm like holy
Thank
water,
you.
hallowed items, I should say.
That's very kind of you.
And
Very
then
considerate.
she goes to you, last Theodis, and says, "I'm not sure, but the angel said that you asked for this in particular." And she hands you a scroll. You can see that it's a scroll of fine steed, but it appears to be a miniaturized steed. There's a drawing on it. It appears to be like a fine pony.
Man, Bast looks around at everyone and their cool things, and he shoves his thing in his pocket that he is never going to use. My cantrip Firebolt's better than a Sacred Flame.
Can I decurse now? Or does it
Fine
take time?
steed.
Cool.
But it's a pony. And it's a spell scroll, so you
Hell
can
yeah.
use it the one time. I guess if you find a wizard, you can give it to them, but... Yes.
Well-
these are things.
You can drink from it, and it will never spill. You ever seen that episode of Dexter's Lab?
I think so.
Everyone else gets really cool magic items, and Dexter gets a mug that doesn't spill.
Blake's gonna decurse herself as
So-
soon as possible. Just like,
Bullet point us one more time.
Yeah.
Where are we going, and what do we need to do there?
To the tower.
She says, "We must go to Earthamon's tower beyond Bahamut's grand palace. It's a day's travel through the fields of Celestia. the
Sounds
ranges.
nice.
We will, yes, we
Yeah, it
found
does.
ourselves on Virtue's Outlook. There is Soul's Desire, the town down below, but we'll pass through the forest of Lunia, and in a day's time, we should be able to make it to the palace."
And save Daddy Blake.
Among other things.
he won't need saving. I know my dad. Oh! And she stretches,
Well, isn't
no
he, like-
longer having arthritis.
What?
Yeah, he don't
I'm
have
sorry.
curse.
We accidentally just Quicksilvered him, right? Like, he just, like, randomly just, like, he just... How did he leave?
He was
trying-
attacking me, and then
He was trying to attack Ruzo with his hallowed weapon.
Oh, you're immune to that now, Russo. You'll be fine.
I guess I am.
The
Okay,
mace
yes.
itself
You'll
would
have to
still
come
hurt.
to me.
Sister Elsha.
Like things that specifically attack fiends or the undead.
I see.
What's the superlative? Sister, mother, Elsha? What you got? What is it? What do you prefer?
She says that titles are
Oh, God.
meaningless for patrons of the true way.
I'm pretty sure y'all have a hierarchy, but I'll call you Elsha.
She says that her official title is Grand Cleric.
Yeah, I'll call you Elsha.
Please.
Let it be known that the owl in the other party has a, how would you describe it, Blake? A life vendetta against another race of people?
Yeah, he's a bit of a bigot. Really hates vampires.
Vampire hunter.
And vampires. Anyone uncursed, really.
I mean, the last time we saw him, he was trying to kill our friend here.
I mean, it was understandable.
You can see that
Was it?
Elsha seems a bit cross, like she doesn't quite know what to do with this information.
I just thought you should know if you're going to be, just gotta let you in on everything. You just,
Yeah.
it might be
Just in
awkward
case you have
when
a
we
vampire
meet
friend,
up
you
with
know?
them.
And she says, I became an adventurer and was chosen by the great Lightbringer, and in the prime of my adventuring days was brought from my home realm in Farhaven to a dark and deceitful place overseen by a cursed vampire lord. So please don't speak to me of the
Strahd?
undead. And she says, oh, yes,
Oh, okay.
that
Oh, we
villain
beat him.
Strahd. And she shakes her
You
head.
look like you
no.
could have wiped the floor with him. I bet it wasn't even a tough fight at all.
And she says, but we only killed his bodily form, which yet is resurrected. The dark powers have ensured that so long as his phylacteries remain, Strahd's immortality will fall at no mere adventurer. And yet, if I could erase him from the multiverse, it would do me great pleasure.
Hey, just hit me up when you can.
Well, I
When
guess
this is all over, we'll see what we can do.
while we're being open and transparent, we kind of owe him a house in Sigil.
Oh, no, we don't.
And
He took
she
my
says,
blood.
He owes me.
any
owes me
deal
my blood.
that you would make with the Devil's Strahd surely come back for you.
But I thought he was trapped in his realm. Nothing to worry about.
She nods her head, so it is told.
Oh, don't worry, I'm kidding. I know he has influence. Alright, let's get on our nice stroll. Can we sleep first? We were just about to go to bed before we got here.
Copernicus seems a little
Absolutely.
bit like woozy, and
Can we bust
says,
in this
"Yeah, I
house?"
just got this house." And
Elsha, you've
Copernicus
probably been
tosses the house.
You've been standing on this cliff for how long? Come rest your feet.
Elsha says, "Well, I actually was standing for about 6 hours. Forces of goodness like to play these little practical jokes with me."
My god, dude.
Were you just sitting there waiting for us?
Rest your feet.
And she says, at their behest.
You said
Yes,
6
they-
hours.
They said where to go, but they didn't say when.
3
She
3
sighs.
hours passed while we were transported here. We happened into that room where we found the angel in the flask.
And she waves your hands, time dilation. Just time dilation.
Just time to.
Still sounds like we were expected to do what we did. And as someone who doesn't buy into the whole fatalistic view, I don't like it.
She says you were preceded by the angel Ithuriel, who
Good.
did present its grace yesterday.
That sounds logical.
And she shakes her shoulders, and is the first to walk into the house, actually. Copernicus soon follows after.
Oh, I didn't have tidy the place up.
You get inside and you notice that it's a rather cozy, simple multi-bedroom. We'll say that it's a 4-bedroom house with a kitchen and an open living space with a hearth.
Oh my god.
Wood already laid in it. Full spice rack, very simple. No alarms or anything like that. But Elsha tells you that in Celestia, most people don't even have locks on their doors.
Right.
It's so safe here.
That's just bad habits. Kind of stupid,
I mean, it depends on where you are.
I suppose. I'll make dinner. And Blake goes and makes
Copernicus says, "You just love cooking for everyone."
Yeah, it gives me something to do.
Copernicus puts his feet up. He bops a little. Oh gosh, what we'll say, like a record player. Puts on house music.
God.
I hope it's his house music.
No, it's
This is house music, yeah.
Like actual house music.
Chicago house music.
yeah. Bass will just fucking kick back, put his feet up. I'm just imagining it is the capsule house from Dragon Ball episode 1 or 2.
That's fun.
Yep.
Elsha is
Yep.
going to take off her armor, which takes a little bit of time. You can see that she's got a number of very serious battle scars across her body, especially her arms. And that she's wearing a rather resplendent undergarments. Very, very nice, tightly packed white priest's robes and undershirts. They appear to be of fine silks.
That's quite cool.
You look like you've done well for yourself in your years. You still look human.
And she laughs and she says, "Yes, although my plane has faced very much strife, strife is the clergy's business. So I've worked very well for myself and for the people whom I have been entrusted to." And yet the angels, with whom I have communed about the great lore of our realm, brought me hither to Celestia. For this was this problem of the elves and their sorrowful slumber is
It's always the elves
One-
who have big problems, isn't it?
And she says, when I was youngest, I tried to teach myself Elvish, imagining a world more beautiful and immortal, undying persons. It was very important to me at a time.
Okay. I'm going to sleep
And one
now.
of those who helped us fight against Strahd was an incredibly powerful elvish monk.
Funky monk. Yes, that's the house. That's exactly what I imagined too.
Wonderful.
Who else
Say it's a little
did
bigger.
you journey Barovia with?
She takes her time describing her various travels through Barovia with, I believe there was an elf, a human wizard, a small dwarf druid, herself, and a half-orc noble person from a nearby major town. She describes a journey through Barovia, which you yourselves have made, only in her iteration, she deeply cared about the people that she ran into and the plight of Irina and the oppression which Strahd put the persons of Barovia under. And she says
Wait,
that
we didn't even
traveling...
meet Irina, did we?
No, I don't
I
think
didn't think
so.
so, yeah.
And she says that traveling through the land of Barovia and into the castle, Castle Ravenloft, gave her a form of madness and future sight, which was a burden to her for many years afterwards.
That's so funny, because Bass is just kind of thinking of his stroll through the castle and how he was like, it's a little overdone, but nice digs.
Yeah, having the wine and
Yeah.
very nice columns.
Like being there just as, in general, guests.
Being able to see the gargoyles without them attacking you.
I don't bring up how fine my time in Barovia was for the most part. I do say I want to meet this dwarf. What did you say his name was? Hollith Beast Speaker? Sounds like a party.
Beast Speaker.
Bee stinger.
Beast Speaker.
Yes, and she
Speaker.
says, well, I was truly saved by the powers of the light after twice in one day, the Speaker did bring me unto the precipice of death, and only by the great light of Lathander was I delivered unto safety, and my wounds healed. She describes the miracles of her early adventuring days, which include, miraculous things like her resurrection, feeding the sick, creating food for the hungry, although she hadn't been familiar with the spell create food and drink, etc., etc. There are a number of occasions where her healing the sick spells healed more people than it ought to have been the case for, or her donations to various churches were somehow multiplied or manifested in a very, very short period.
She brought Lathander to Chult and helped in that situation.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. Yes, she also had extensive mission work in Chult.
During there was a plague where everyone who died. Haha, guess what? No resurrection worked. There was a lot of crazy stuff going on. If you haven't gathered, Elsha's a character that I DM'd for Derek. The first character. Well, Bass falls asleep while she's telling her stories, not on purpose, but because he's very tired.
Blake finishes the burritos and has a little plate for the snake.
Yes.
Yeah,
Russo will retire to one of the
Let's
rooms.
go.
Leo sort of digs his way through the burrito and then eats the tortilla.
Oh, damn. I would
I
imagine him
cheer for him.
swallowing it whole. I love it.
I cheer him on. I get so pumped. I'm like, yeah!
A little burrito.
You hear a
He's gonna
child
get so
screaming
fat.
as you try to sleep.
Yeah.
Let him get
Very good. And Copernicus also passes out. We'll say that we can have our little long rest, shall we?
Yeah!
Good.
I
No
like
longer
long
cursed, and I've been to
rest.
sleep. Oh, I'm so
I
strong now.
like long rest.
Wait a minute.
I can hear
One
the sound
second.
effects for the
Um,
text.
Copernicus wakes up first and he starts making eggs and sausages.
Okay. Blake is immediately uncomfortable with someone else making the food, but she deals with it.
How dare you?
That's the thing that we shows. Play senses tingling.
Where did you get
Yeah,
those
literally.
eggs?
She just doesn't like the way other people cook food.
I squint at Copernicus and say, "Where did you get those eggs?"
I got them at Alamora. She had a bunch of eggs.
Okay.
They're fresh eggs.
Oh, that's not what I was worried
ate
about.
one already.
Wait, Blake also squints and like begins to get a little closer to Copernicus. Copernicus, what kind of eggs are they?
And
Kobold eggs.
no, Copernicus doesn't say that. He
That's
says,
where our heads are.
there's some kind of speckled bird's eggs, and he shows you the shells.
Bluebird eggs.
They're blue speckled shell eggs. Yeah, maybe bluebirds.
Okay.
Oh my god. Like, Blake immediately kind of cracks up at, like, Loki intimidating the guy. Like,
Man, are
it's
they
fine,
like...
dude, don't worry.
I imagine you need to have a lot of those if you're cooking an omelet with them or making a burrito.
There are like 8 of them that
Uh-huh.
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Like, it's fine, dude, I eat them. Let's eat.
Yeah, no pressure. And he
Yeah.
flips the pan.
At this point, Ruto comes out and he's just like, "Did no one else use the beds?" I just assume you all passed out.
That's funny. I mean, Bass probably would have been like, when I say passed out, like he passed out and then eventually stagger off somewhere. But yeah, maybe he didn't realize.
Copernicus might have slept on a couch. Elsha definitely takes a bed.
Cool.
Yes, and so you have your breakfast. Copernicus also roasts up some vegetables. You can see outside, it looks as if the resplendent sunlight which carried over has been replaced by a sheet of stars. And a swirling crescent moon which appears to hang over the top of the highest mount in Mount Celestia. There's still a glowing, radiant light that shines from it, only it's much smaller. And a almost chilled wind carries in the air. When you step outside and Copernicus pops his capsule back into his hand, a light mist begins falling on all of you. Elsha's changed back into her armor. I assume everyone is ready to begin traveling?
Oh, yes.
Travel!
So you go down from this peak, this cliff-hang, Virtue's Peak, along the side, overlooking a rather tall valley. And you step along the side of this mountain pass until you find yourself in a rather scenic and lonely forest. Although it's not an especially dense forest, you don't run into anyone or you hear very many natural stirrings or sounds for a while. Several hours pass, and then next to a particularly tall tree, you see a lone figure wearing brown leather pants. He's got a kind of simple shirt on and overalls, a little straw hat on, and he appears to be smoking a pipe. rather vigorously and peeks his head up from under his hat. The group of you, as you're coming up, and immediately starts bounding toward your direction. Adventurers!
I take a few steps in front of the party to like meet him.
And he takes a stop about 10 feet away. Yes,
Yo.
hello. Oh, hi. I
Hello.
like the cut of your jib.
All right.
Please tell
We're
me more.
We're off on a good foot, and I can tell you that much. What's your name, traveler?
My name is Diego.
Diego.
What's
I'm
yours?
Bast,
Diego.
Theodis, Russo, Blake, and Elsha, and Copernicus.
Copernicus says they always forget about me.
Good one.
Jumps.
Well, Diego, how fare
I'm
you in
just,
this forest?
I'm just a lone wandering, man. I got a little bit drunk and I ended up in another plane.
I know how
what
that
are you doing
goes.
in this forest?
Almost the same thing, honestly.
Very good. Well, what's your business? Where are you going?
You know, major stakes, quests, people need saving. We're helping this good Elsha.
Elsha stands and says, "Halt, man. Yes, we go
A little late.
to the Tower of Earthamon, where the dread wizard has, well, it caused quite a stir throughout the multiverse." Copernicus says she's got a weird way that she kind of talks weird, doesn't she?
First we've heard of it, but we're happy to help.
And the guy looks around and says, "Oh, well, that seems like you've got a really good reason to be traveling. I appreciate, I appreciate the cut of your jibs. I wish there was something I could do to help."
No, don't trouble yourself, stranger. It's merely nice to see a friendly face for once in a while.
Earthamon's castle. Well, let me just say, because I've heard a little bit about this tower. Hell, if I were you, see if you can break into Bahamut's royal palace. And you can see that his eyes become wide, like jewels, when he says this. There
look
must
at
be all
Elsha.
kinds of... And she seems like, she seems very suspicious.
Okay, just making sure. Looking back.
And the guy has gone into full kind of like greedy grifter, like, yes, untold treasures, artifacts, magical things beyond the realm of mortal minds. Yes, they say a powerful dragon god keeps track of this place and brought it to Celestia, although he be not an angelic power. What things are held within? What?
Well, there's a lot to
beyond the
unravel there.
mind which can conceive.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yes.
Thanks for the tip.
And a kind of dark countenance takes
Where are
over
you
his head and
from,
he says,
friend?
Do you have a name?
Yes, Diego. Where are you from, Diego?
Oh yeah,
And-
yeah.
Diego says, I was born in the mountains of Mordred in the in the lower plains.
Nice.
Make an insight check.
Please.
All of us?
Yes.
Everybody.
I got a 10.
Nat 20.
I got a
19.
This guy.
12.
What
Yeah.
is it with your modifier? Because they
Who?
rolled a 19 on the die. Theodis, natural 20.
Yeah, I got a nat 20, but it's a
It's minus
one for
one.
So they meet.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
They meet it. They're right there on the level.
God.
They meet it without the modifier. All of you definitely get the suspicion that there's something else going on with this guy, and there's a fieriness in their eye, which, like Elsha's, appears to be transcendent in a way, something else other than what it first appears. But you're not sure exactly what the nature of that is.
Well, thank you for the tip and conversation. I think we will be carrying on now.
Yeah. Yep. Gonna keep walking.
Good luck, adventurers.
Nice
Thank you,
hat, by the way.
Yes, Diego. Just remember.
Is he a human?
Just remember Diego. He is a human. Yes. Appears as a human.
Yeah.
Very good. So you continue on your way and you leave Diego. He walks back up to his tree and continues smoking his pipe. You can smell. He's smoking some. It's a red dragonweed.
Elsha, what do you make of that guy?
Arnicus says, I should have asked him about the. Elsha says, only the most foolish adventurers would attempt to break into Bahamut's palace.
That's
It's
what that
guarded
sounded like to
by
me.
4 powerful wind spirits, and it's said that there are magical barriers beyond mortal capabilities.
Not to mention it's inhabited by the lawful good god, Bahamut, dragon god.
Yeah, well, trying to steal something from a dragon, much
Yeah.
less a dragon god. And
A lawful
Copernicus,
good
you can
one?
see he's really uncomfortable when you start talking about this. He's actually like, shakes.
Oh shit. Copernicus, are you a Tiamat boy?
Copernicus says, I was in a dragon cult, right?
Yeah, there's a lot
It's
of
just-
different colored dragons. Was it a metal colored one or just a color one?
It was a red dragon.
Oh, you're
I
a
don't wanna
Tiamat
talk about
boy.
it.
It's fine, I understand. There's antitheses to things, and you're right now probably just as uncomfortable, if not more uncomfortable, than Ruzo would be here. Right. You're going through it, bud. Don't worry, we're not going to go to Bahamut's castle.
Oh yeah, dragons won't hurt you.
Good dragons.
Elsha continues to lead you through the forests. You travel for several more hours, and then you stop to have your lunch.
Cool.
You can hear the sound of
Oh, by the way, Bast has
Yes.
put everything into, like, he used to be like, just a vest kind of guy with a lot of things that you could attach to it, but he's taken to putting as much as he can into his Heward's handy haversack now, so it's just his backpack and vest and swords.
Nice. So as you've made your way through the forest, you've come closer to one of the more oft-traveled pilgrims' paths, and you can see, we'll say about 200 yards away on one of these main thoroughfares, a number of what appear to be glowing lanterns or swarms of spheres of light, which begin slowly traversing their way up along the numerous mountain paths. Elsha says those are the hallowed souls of the Archons and those pilgrims who seek the way of the light. Their journey will last eons, and yet there is no higher purpose.
Yeah, that sounds fucking boring and horrible. No offense, but fucking kill me and erase my soul, please. I'm glad they're happy. Or beyond the need
Same.
for happiness, or whatever it is.
They are petitioners of the holy light, that which is most radiant and blessed in all the universe. None know what they may encounter once their journeys end, or if their journeys are themselves a form of eternal life. Bernigus says, that sounds a lot like lichdom to me.
Except with a lot less freedom.
I don't know. Have you met a lich before?
Yeah, they kind of do
It's-
whatever
it-
the fuck they want. It's usually
Well-
very specific what they want to do, so they're usually like confined to where they're doing it and whatnot. But like these guys just wander. At least the lich can hold a conversation.
I feel like liches, you know, they like need to feast on blood, and there's a
Yeah,
lot.
so do
Like, often that
vampires.
is the thing. I guess that's fair.
You'd
Do
still
you
have-
feel trapped, Ruzo, in your habits and diet?
I mean, do you feel
Not
trapped having
particularly,
to?
no.
Do
but
you feel
then
trapped having to
I'm-
breathe air?
Sometimes.
Oh, well, that's a you problem.
I've got a soul that was stifled by a terrible dragon cult. What about you, Ruzo? Is your vampire family like a cult?
I don't really have any measure for that. I've never really known any different.
That sounds kind of culty.
Yeah, yikes.
Yeah, I mean
yikes was
there
the
are,
first
like-
word. I thought.
there are some rituals of initiation, at least, that you probably would have participated in, and like oaths, blood oaths, and stuff like that, which are the common rung of vampires. She looks over at Blake Sunny. I feel like being your family was a little bit cultish.
Oh yeah, dude.
I
My
mean, nobles.
God.
Yeah, there's nothing more culty than being part of a generations-long established line of money.
See, he gets it. Especially in Sigil. Everyone is just all about the hierarchies there. And the murder.
And belief.
Oh god, don't get me started.
Don't get anyone from Sigil started on what they believe.
There must have been a lot of pressure living in your parents' shadow.
Oh. I mean, they're living in my shadow, kind of.
Yeah,
You know,
see,
They
lot,
may...
a lot to unpack right there in that statement.
Wait, what? What do you mean? And Blake is gonna trail behind us.
Oh, but yeah, Blake's like, wait, what? Time for an introspective, silent journey through the woods.
Yeah. She's just asking questions to Copernicus, like, Copernicus, am I a good person? Like, it's the whole time.
Oh. Very interesting. So you're traveling along, having this conversation, when you're able to see, whoop out from, one of the tree lines, what appear to be 4 winged creatures, which begin patrolling around in the area above you.
What kind of
Calling
winged
out.
creatures?
There's a picture in
There's
the
a
chat.
picture.
Oh,
They have long, spindly limbs, what appear to be like demonic faces, almost like they were masks that were carved and brought to life.
Elsha.
There's a sharp beak.
Elsha, do these have something to do with
Do they?
what we're going to deal with? These don't look native.
And she says, no, it must be the case that they were brought here by Earthamon, or else some passage from the abyss. Cursed fiends.
Well, should
And-
we deal with them? They don't seem like they fit.
And she says, yes, I think that it's time.
I am looking forward to seeing what you can do.
Oh,
can you
hell
do?
yeah. Violent.
Copernicus
I
says,
do
did someone
know
say violence?
That's the spirit, little dude. Let's get him.
And Elsha calls out with a thaumaturgy. After you
call
you
to
make your way
challenge.
into the forest until there's a bit of a clearing. We'll say about 40, feet square clearing space, and Elsha says, "Come out this way. We'll take them on straight." And she calls out with the thaumaturgy, "Come and fight me, you damn beasts of the abyss!"
Such a classic hero. The no, let's get the drop on them. It's just, fight me! I love it.
As the four winged creatures begin to descend on you, let us roll initiative.
Yarp.
Hooray.
Hell yeah.
15.
21.
16.
22.
God damn. Who just... Blake, did you just roll... you have a plus... Why do you have a plus 16 to your initiative?
I do not. I have +3.
It just said Blakiston
I
Stunning...
rolled 16.
No, it for me, in my thing, it says Blakiston Stunning rolled a 19 plus 16 equals... Oh, it rolled 2d20. I see. You have advantage.
Yeah. Oh my god, I was
okay.
gonna say.
It said you got a 35.
Oh, wow.
But it just added the two rolls together. I see.
Yeah. That's funky. But yeah, I get
Yeah,
advantage.
I hope they
because I'm a
fix that.
big bad boy.
I hope they contextualize all the different dice rolls.
Oh yeah.
Ruse.
I really hope whatever virtual tabletop D&D Beyond eventually puts out is, like, good. I'm sure they're
I do
going to
too.
eventually. It would just be nice to have...
Eventually.
It would just be nice
What
to have
is your
everything.
initiative, Bast?
15.
Okay. Let me just get the creatures. Blake Sunny, you are the first to act. The creatures are about 60 feet away in the air. There are
Oh,
four of
God.
them. They're encroaching. Two of them on one side, two of them on the other side. You're in a field that's about 40 feet wide. There are a number of tall trees, but they're not especially densely packed together. You're a rather far ways away from the main path that we described previously.
Okay. So can I use half my movement to climb a tree and then hold action until they get within gliding distance? And when they are, I can intercept by just like, shoo, bang.
He's gonna strike.
He's gonna.
I think that it would require most of your movement to get up a tree. Although, if you plan to do this, we could say that you stay further back, so that you do climb a tree and you can just wait and hold your action until one of them comes down, and then you can attempt to glide and attack it. But it will just be a single attack. No, because it's like you're holding your action, so you would still get your multi-attack, wouldn't it? It's like that's when your turn happens.
It's honestly your call. I don't mind so long as I get to like hold my action until they're in range and take a hit with my buds.
I feel like a glide attack is like multiple things at once. If you have multi-attack, I guess that you could do it twice, but not
What does
more
the
than
glide
that.
feature say real quick?
Oh, I can't do it with something big in my hands anyway, so that's fine.
Yeah.
In that case, I'll stride out ahead of the group on one side.
You
Bast
do
can
have your
take the other,
claws, though.
and I'll rage. And hold my action until within their own range. Cool.
Okay, sounds good. It is
Well-
now Thetis' turn.
Yep. Cool.
How far away are they from me?
They're about 60 feet.
60 feet.
Up in the air.
I'm gonna move 30. Get close to one. I'm gonna point a
Well,
finger at it.
They're 60
They're
feet
60 feet
up.
up.
Ah, I see. Well, True Strike has 30-foot range, so I'm not gonna do that. I instead going to... Oh, I can't blind or deafen him either. That's also 30 feet. But can I... Scorching Ray? I'm not gonna spend a spell slot just yet. I'm gonna Eldritch Blast them.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about a 16 and an 11?
1 second. The 16 hits.
I wanted to true strike their defenses. I got 9 force damage, and I pushed them backwards.
Very good. Yes, you do this damage. And the creature is thrown off its course as it's flying down. Pushed further back from you, as it were. Is that your turn?
That is my turn.
Very good. Next up, it's Copernicus. He's going to pull back, and he begins sort of enchanting and swirling sphere of ice in his hands appears. And he says, "Oh, just wait until they get closer." And next, it is Ruzo's turn.
I'm gonna shoot one with my short bow,
Very good.
whichever one's closest.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 25, and the damage.
Yes, it
No,
does.
no, that was wrong. That was the wrong. Let's try that again. 10.
Cool. It does sink into it. You can see that it doesn't look like it's very effective. Elsha says, unless you have magical arrows, they might not be very effective against these creatures.
Ah, that is a problem.
But your sword's magical, I think.
I don't think I think it's just a regular short sword.
Oh, it's just silver. Oof. Okay.
Uh-oh.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Is that your turn, Ruzo?
I think that's probably my turn then.
Can you wield a long sword?
You should be able to check your proficiencies. It is now your turn, Bast.
Check the...
Yeah, I can.
I'm gonna toss
Yeah, I
Ruzo one of my Batorian green steel long swords.
Oh, yes.
Okay, cool.
It is a specific magic item. I'll tell you what to do when you swing it.
Okay, cool.
Bast tosses you this rather large sword. It's still very light for a long sword, and you can see the arcane runes carved into the blade, which glow when you hold the handle.
Straight from the pits of hell. So, can that have been like an item interaction for me to toss that to?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, definitely.
And then, let's see what I want to do. So I just want to bring up, I just realized I created my character incorrectly. Apparently,
Lovely.
as an Eldritch Knight, you can only choose Evocation and Abjuration spells, which is a stipulation I did not follow when creating Bast. I just realized that now.
Well, you've already made the character.
Yeah.
Just go
Yeah,
ahead
I
and
know.
keep it how they are. It's too late.
Yeah.
This, I feel like,
Another reason
is
I want to play a new
very
character. It's fine.
doable for now.
Yeah,
But
no,
yes.
I just had to bring it up.
That's fine.
So Bast is gonna actually go ahead and mirror image himself. So he tosses the sword. Ruzo catches it, and then goes, "Ha!" And poof, 3 more Basts appear, sort of phasing in and out
Triple
of the same
Bast.
spaces.
It's a boy band. My God.
A good bed.
Haven't done this in a while.
What do you
They
think the
all
collective
say.
term for a bastard?
Oh yeah, what is a we'll call it a
A grouch.
no.
Yeah.
A complaint of Beth.
What's
Some Basts.
But yes, that's an an action.
A bunch of basts.
A bundle of basts.
Like that.
I'm trying to think of something related to like wine. A bushel of basts.
A barrel of basts.
There we go. A barrel. I like that. A
Yeah.
barrel of basts. I used my action. I don't think I have any cool.
Has mirror image on yourself. That's
yeah.
right.
So yeah, and I'm just gonna kind of position myself and just yell out at these creatures. Try and draw some attention.
Cool.
That's my turn.
Yep. And it is now the creatures' turns. They're going to begin to descend down, activating Copernicus's held cone of cold. 2 of them are going to have to make checks. Or con saves. And both of the creatures pass. They seem to dodge out of the way of Copernicus's cone of cold with uncanny stealth, and they're also resistant to cold damage. So 2 of the creatures are affected. The 2 that have already been hit, we'll say, but not nearly as much as our hero Copernicus would have liked. And he says, "Oh God, this is not good." Blake, Sunny,
Oh, God.
3 of the creatures swarm down. At least one of them is within range of you.
Okay. I'm gonna try and make myself big enough to draw attention from all 3 of them. And I'm gonna swing at the one who's closest to me, hoping to make an example of it. Gonna attack recklessly, so this is with advantage, and I'm gonna do it twice. 28
Nice.
Hits, yes.
and 26. Okay, yeah.
Nice.
Do you want to hit different ones, you said?
I want to get attention from all of them. If you think the best way to do that is to hit different ones, then I'll do that. But I'd rather focus
Probably
on one.
would
if
be
I
the
can.
best way to do that.
Okay, yeah. I'll bat between 1 and 2 of them with 17 damage plus 1d4. Okay, 18 damage. And oh my god. Ooh! 20 damage plus another d4.
Mhm.
Okay, 21 damage.
Yeah, so one of them has already been hurt and it squawks out. And the other one is being hit for the first time, and it seems like both of them have settled their attention very much on you, Blake Sunny. Is that your turn?
Yeah. Well, flock off, you pieces of shit.
At this point, Elsha is going to she's gonna raise her mace and cast a spell. She says, "Back to the gates of hell with you," and is going to attempt to cast a banishment on all of the creatures. Holy fuck. None of them are affected by her
God damn.
spell. And they hiss and they say, "Back to the shadows with you. We'll bring you to Ravenloft yet."
Oh shit!
And
You're gonna say that to me?
they say that to Elsha.
No,
but
I mean, no,
you
but it's
can-
funny because like
yeah,
anybody
yeah.
could be like, "Oh,
I feel like
fuck."
everyone,
Yeah.
Copernicus is even like, "Oh." Back to the top of the round. It is Blake Sunny's turn.
Or I'm just gonna The one who's battered the most and is closest to me, the one who screamed, they're getting another paddling. Let's go. 25 on one of them.
Yes, 25 hits.
Oh, 225s, okay. Just absurd
Wow.
damage coming from Blake right now.
225s on different creatures.
On the same creature. This is the wounded one.
Okay.
One damage is 15. Another damage is... Oh my god. 18. And then they take 3d4, I think, because they've been stacked.
Yeah.
So they take another 9 damage.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
so you pull this creature down and sort of Devil May Cry style, you hack off its wings and one of its arms with your axe. And it appears to be very near the precipice of death. Ichor is streaming from it, and it's oh god, curse on you.
Curse on me, bird brain.
Another one.
Huh. Wouldn't be the first time today.
You just ate that thing.
Yes, is that your turn, Blake Sunny?
That is my... I love playing barbarians. Yep.
Wow. Up next, it is Theodis's turn. 3 of these are still
Alright, now-
swirling in the air around you. 2 of them are specifically locked onto Blake Sunny. The one who is not just been dismembered by your companion seems to be a little bit concerned. Increasingly concerned.
I am going to get next to the one, or any of them within 30 feet. It might just be the only one that's on the ground because it's been chopped up. I don't know how close the ones that are circling us are. But I'm going to cast True Strike on them
I
and
never rolled their
get
attacks.
insight
oh, Jesus.
into the target's defenses.
That's fine. I didn't roll for their turns though.
Okay,
I
So-
see.
I should do
Okay.
that first.
Yes, I should do that just really quickly.
So
and then
that's
we'll
like
get back
it's
to
just like
that.
we got a surprise round on them.
Yeah.
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 So the 2 ones that are engaged with Blake Sunny are going to make their attacks.
Both have advantage.
Okay. That is good. The first one is a 21 to hit.
Yep. I'm
And it
not
does
scared.
14 points of piercing damage. The second one is only a 14 to hit, which I assume fails. And then the second creature is going to attempt to stun the group. It's going to screech out very, very loudly, and the reverberance of it carries over all of you. I need everyone in the area to make a Constitution saving throw,
Ha,
including our friends Elsha and Copernicus.
25.
20 non-natural.
11.
13.
Typical.
So Theodis and Ruzo, you are paralyzed.
Oh.
You're
Oh,
stunned.
shit.
Oh.
Until the end of the Varrock's next turn, which is significant. So Theodis, you were about to attack, weren't you?
Yep. Or I was going to use True Strike,
Yeah.
which is just foreknowledge.
So you managed to push one of them back, so they're not quite able to get in and attack anyone in this turn. The other one is, we're gonna say, going to engage with you. You seem like the weakest target, Theodis. Or actually, yeah, that's
I'm
right.
stunned, right?
So
yeah.
you're stunned. I believe it has advantage. It rolls a 15 to hit with its beak.
Haha, it does not.
It comes down and it attempts to
Did it attack
bite
with advantage?
into you. It did attack with advantage.
Good.
But because your armor is magical, it was not able to find purchase.
Yes, my robe.
Then
My
it
robe.
comes back with its talons and it rolls a 25 to hit.
Don't like that.
Doing 20 points of slashing damage
Oh, yikes.
as it cuts
Yep.
across your torso.
Oh, Theodos.
Ouchie.
And now we will go back to where things were. You're stunned for the moment, Theodis, so you're not able to execute this move, we'll say.
Right. The true strike. Can I make a saving throw since it's my turn?
It is until the end of the Varrock's next turn that you're stunned, actually.
Can your
there's
snake do
not a-
anything?
Gotcha.
There's not a save that you already lost. You already failed your save.
What about a snake? What does a snake do?
Snake's
you're right.
hiding in my
Yeah, we'll say that the
What's the thing?
snake does sort of come out from your robes and does bite into one of the Vrocks. The creature, however, is resistant to fire damage.
Ah.
Yeah, no, don't hurt
We
yourself.
learned something.
Yes.
I don't want Leo to hurt himself.
Ew, that's not food.
It is now Ruzo's turn, except you are stunned, so you're skipped for this round, which brings us to Bast.
Oh, fuck. I rush over to, real quick. Let me double check this real quick. Where is it? Weapon bond. Alright, I use a bonus action, and my sword disappears from Ruzo's hand and reappears in my hand, and I charge up to the one that is near Theodis and attack it.
Of course. Yeah. Roll to hit.
You got it. Yeah! Oh my god, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I critical 1 for an 11. Shit!
Yeah. So you throw your
Yeah.
sword past it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then I come in.
It falls into the ground.
God damn it. I come in on the backswing for a 12. I'm not using the virtual dice anymore. I'm gonna use my actual die.
That's fine. 12 still misses.
Yeah, it does. God damn it. That's all I can do. I'm here. I hopefully have at least engaged its attention. I'm as more of a threat than Theodis is.
You have engaged its attention. It is now the Varrock's turn. Okay, so one of them is being ripped to pieces. The other one is next to Blake. They begin speaking to each other in Abyssal. Does anyone here know Abyssal? I think Theodis.
No. No,
Oh,
I know Infernal.
fuck's sake.
Yeah. Abyssals for demons.
Cool. So I don't think that any of you can understand what they're saying, but they're squawking, and it sounds very dark and.
I'm surprised Elsha never picked it up. Out of necessity.
It's fair. Elsha might be able to understand it, but if she does, she doesn't let on.
Sure.
And so the one who is next to you, Bast, is going to discharge a 15-foot cloud of toxic
Ew.
gas.
He shits on me. Ah.
He farted. Ew.
This is going to affect yourself, Theodis, and we will say
Ooh. Automatically
Copernicus.
fails Dex and Strength saving throws if you're stunned.
Oh no.
Let me just check really quickly.
It's probably more of a con. Maybe. We'll see.
It's a con save, yeah.
Okay. Is it right now or on our turns?
It's right now.
Okay. I get a 21.
Arnicus also passes. Theodis?
Come on, kid.
10.
God damn it.
So you feel the something very toxic make its way into your lungs, and you've been poisoned. It doesn't look like the effect has quite hit you yet, but you start to feel very green and stunned, which makes enough sense. And that's one of the Vroks. Turns. The one who is getting dismembered is going to use its last throws to attempt to stick both of its claws into our friend Blake Sunny. Does it have advantage?
Yes.
So one is a 20 and one is a 21.
What is that?
Those do both hit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. One does 15 points of damage, and the other does 13, which is a 28 total. As both of the talons reach in through your armor in this little side pants.
She is wearing, like, just an assassin suit, no armor.
Yeah, I was thinking that. It's just, like, sort of on the sides of the outfit.
My jorts!
My jorts.
My chunklets.
And the last of them, who still hasn't been hurt, is going to attempt to screech now, and I need everyone who hasn't already been stunned to make a Constitution saving throw.
Natural 28, baby.
23.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Oh, good.
Copernicus is stunned,
No.
but he's the only one. Elsha passes her save, as well as Blake and Bast. And then it is the end of the Vrok's turn, and Theodis and Ruzo, you come back.
Hooray.
And it's Elsha's turn now. Just give me 1 second.
Okay, come on, Elsha, give us one of those 9th level spells.
Something
Great.
that heals our kid, please. He's dying.
I'm okay.
I'm okay, Dad.
And she, let me just make an intelligence check for her. She rolls a natural 1. Very good.
Sounds
So
about right, honestly.
She takes her helmet, and one of the diamond jewels from it begins glowing, and from her helm, just a glowing, almost rainbow of light is emitted, and 8 light rays flash from her hand. Each creature must make a dexterity saving throw. Two of them fail, 2 of them pass, as these colorful sprays begin to absorb into them. Really fascinating. Just give me 1 second to see what effects happen.
Just this big rainbow unicorn color spray. It's like a Lisa Frank cover.
One of them is blinded, and a column of cold appears to overwhelm them. And they take quite a bit of damage. 1 second. We'll say this is the one that hasn't been hit yet, that is blinded, and it takes, well, half of that, we'll say. Because Elsha didn't realize that they're immune to almost everything.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Beginning to think engaging these was a bad idea.
Yeah. Maybe we should have
They're
got the
kinda
top on
tough.
them.
One of them is struck by lightning, and there's another column of cold that overtakes it. The lightning appears to be super effective.
It's super effective.
2, 8, and yes, you can see the lightning strike through the one that's accosting Blake Sunny, and with the cone of cold, the creature bursts into a black ichor, which explodes over Blake Sunny.
God damn. That was a lot of damage.
And it is scattered. And that is Elsha's turn, which brings us to you, Blake Sunny. This black ichor has been thrown over you.
Like, Blake's gonna start making a joke and then turn around to see, like, fucking Theodos is being torn to shreds and physically green. And she's just gonna,
My
like,
belly.
yeah, she's gonna say, like, fuck the attack of opportunity that's gonna inevitably happen to me. She's just gonna charge the one that's going for him and just absolutely, well, kill it. Let's go.
Well, yes, you can. You are going to take an attack of opportunity from the nearly dead one on the ground.
Oh,
it
he's
rolls
not dead.
No, it's not quite dead.
I have an idea then. I'm gonna do the Blake special. Can I retcon what I did?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna kill the one on the ground first.
Okay, we'll say that you have advantage on your attack.
Okay, 25.
Yes, definitely. And you don't have to worry about rolling it. You just, like, hit it. For flavor, we'll say that you can throw it into the next one that you're attacking, and it'll take a little bit of that damage.
I would actually
Not
like to throw it at the one that is accosting
Attacking Theodis, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Do the Blake special of intimidating using someone else's corpse.
It'll take some of that damage, but it's resistant.
Cool. And yeah, I'm gonna run into the space, and if I'm allowed to hit it, I'll hit it. Otherwise, I'll intimidate
Yes.
it.
Yes, you still have an attack, I believe.
Very cool. Then I'm gonna go straight for trying to get between him and Theodos.
Okay.
And I roll a 12. Damn.
You miss. You swing wide and just kind of run through the divide. Bast is also there, so you're trying to find your space in the battlefield, but you go long.
Shit. This stupid E-card, so slippy. And that's my turn.
Is that your turn?
Yeah.
Very cool. And that brings us to Theodis. At the start of your turn, you take 9 points of poison damage.
Ooh.
And at the end of your turn, you can repeat your save. Elsha says, the light of Palor will protect you. Just come to me, child.
I'm going to
By the light of Lathander.
use my... Can I use my action to use one with shadows? When you are in an area of dim light or darkness, you can use your action to become invisible. Oh, never mind. It says until I move.
Yeah, that is the way that
Dang,
works.
that stinks.
There would be enough dim light if you were to run near one of the trees, which wouldn't be terribly far. You can do it within your movement. You probably would evoke, though.
You do have a potion of
I
greater
am.
healing that we got from the shop yesterday.
And an
last
Elsha.
session.
Yes, and a cleric.
I'm
which
gonna run
is
towards a cleric.
Very good. You do that.
Gonna run towards a cleric. Is that 30 feet, 60 feet?
It's within 30
But I
feet.
have to dash to get to her. Okay,
no,
so I'll use
no.
that 30
They're about
feet.
20 feet away.
Okay, and then I'll use True Strike. Point a finger
Okay.
at a target in range. I have insight to the target's defenses.
Isn't it a contested check?
Read the rest of the spell.
It says, True Strike. You point a figure at a target in range. Your magic grants you a brief insight into the target's defenses. On your next turn, you gain advantage on your first attack roll against the target, provided the spell hasn't ended.
Very good. So you
It's a
point to
concentration spell.
the one that is closest, we'll say, and both of them are distracted fighting other creatures, and the spell wisps around them.
And I know they are resistant to fire and
You,
cold damage.
they are resistant to cold, fire. Oh shit, they're not resistant to lightning. Ah, I can't retcon that now. Oh well. And also bludgeoning,
Yes.
piercing, and slashing from non-magical weapons.
So, magic
although-
him up. Magic.
Yes, and is that your turn?
That's my turn.
Go ahead and make your con save.
Let's see if I can do this. 14? Is that enough?
14 is just enough. You're able to pass.
Oh, thank goodness. I was gonna use Dark One's Own Luck if I didn't.
Yeah, me too.
Hooray!
So you cough out a little loogie of poison.
Ew. Ew.
Ew. I can smell that.
Ew.
Up next, it is
Okay.
Copernicus, who's just been frozen into place for the round, and at the end of his turn, he's frozen for now. Ruzo, it's on you.
Is the longsword still in the ground?
Oh no, it's in
Yes.
my hand. Sorry.
Did you
Oh, I thought
Okay.
that you
Oh
tossed
no,
it. Okay.
no, yeah, there is the one I did toss.
You-
Yes.
There is the one on the ground. Yeah.
So can I go get the longsword?
Yes, and you can attack if you like.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
one
So how does that work?
is there's one that's you would be flanking with Blake, I believe, and one that's kind of floating out next to Bast. I'll say that either one you attack.
But how does
you
the
have it-
damage work?
Well,
Oh, that's right.
so it is a.
It's a plus
it's a
one, I
magic
believe.
sword, so it's a +1, and you have to use your strength.
Okay.
It'd be your strength and proficiency.
So yeah, your strength
Right.
proficiency +1. So it's +4 plus your strength, or 5 plus your strength.
Plus a d20.
Mhm.
Plus 1.
So 16 on strength,
Plus 6.
and then what?
Plus your +5. Because it's
Plus 1 for the sword, right?
it's
or
+4
is-
for the
so
proficiency.
27.
Got it. 21 then.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we'll say that hits.
So-
Go ahead and roll. I think it's a d8.
Oh yeah, I've got it. It does. If you're swinging with two hands, it's a D10 plus
Mm-hmm.
your strength. Mine is +6. So yeah, so it's your strength +1. What's your strength modifier?
I think it's 0. So just
It
plus
is,
1.
yeah.
Okay, D10 +1, and then it'll deal
But-
necrotic damage also.
Um,
A D4,
So 6.
and then a D4 necrotic damage.
And then. Oh, no, that's not the die I want. That one. A 3.
Nice.
and the creature does take this. You stab into it, and it finds purchase. It screeches out.
So yeah, if you ever use it again, it's +5 to hit, 1d10 +1 damage.
And is that your turn, Russo?
It is, yes.
Very good. It is now Bast's turn.
Very cool.
You're basically engaged with one, if I remember correctly.
All right. Don't panic. Bonus action. The sword disappears from Ruzo's hands, and I strike twice into the one that I'm up near.
Mm-hmm.
Is Russo attacking the same one, or is that a different one?
We'll say that Russo's attacking a different one.
Okay. So yeah, I strike twice at the creature. God damn it. 13 and a 25 to hit, finally.
25 does hit.
That's going to be 16 of the magic slashing damage and a d4 necrotic. A +4 necrotic. Wow, max damage. 20 damage.
Good. Yes, you can
And-
see that both of the remaining creatures seem a bit bloodied.
And if I can, I toss the sword back to Russo.
Of course, yes. And Russo will say that you can definitely grab it.
This is a really
Pirates
cool
of the Caribbean
image.
style.
Yeah, I'm just imagining just like, zoom, zoom, boom, boom, just like tossing and teleporting the swords around or like juggling them. It's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. I've never had a combat encounter with this kind of technical stuff. Very exciting. Which brings us back to the Vrock's turn. They are going to both attempt to stun all of.
Oh shit! I
no,
forgot
they
about
can
my
only do
mirror
that
image.
once.
I've been
once a
mirror
day.
imaged the whole time. I
Thank
forgot.
God.
Yeah, I'm sorry that we haven't been keeping up with that.
No, they haven't attacked me. It's fine.
Well, it's cool. One of them is going to attempt to attack you now.
Okay.
Twice.
So first,
Yes.
you need to roll a d20.
They roll a 16.
Yes. It hits one of my. So they swing at one of my duplicates. What do they roll to hit?
They roll a 13.
They do not hit any of us.
Cool. And they're gonna swing again with the talons.
Sorry. They do hit a duplicate and it disappears.
Okay, one duplicate gone, and then they roll a 15 to hit with the talons, or a 15 on the die. I
Roll
should
another
say.
d20.
A natural 20.
Okay, that's good for me. So it swaps to a duplicate and cuts it through another one. So now I have one duplicate next to me.
Cool. Yeah, so it attacks 2 of your duplicates, and your mirror image is successful. The other one is going to attempt to attack Blake. Does it have advantage?
I believe it does. Yeah.
Could you attack recklessly?
It has
Just
been
like
a minute. My brain is completely turned off. I think I
barbarian,
can. Let's
because
give it
you're
anyway.
gonna rage. Okay, one of them is a 21 to hit.
Hits.
With the beak, and the other one fails. It misses. But it does bite into you for 14 points of piercing damage as it
It's 7.
snaps its jaws across your shoulder.
That one almost hurts a
That's
little bit.
correct.
Very good. Is that your turn?
That's the.
Or that's
That's
their turn,
another
isn't
thing
it?
attacking you.
Let's see. Sorry. Yes.
Cool.
Which brings us to Elsha.
Can I ask what level this Elsha is?
She's level 13.
Very cool.
Ooh. She is strong.
So she's going to cast another banishment spell. And she'll say, "By the power of the light, be gone back from the abyss which you came." And one of them, actually, both of them pop and are disappeared. And Elsha,
Hell yeah.
you can see that she's holding a glowing symbol with a little sunlight, her holy symbol, and that it shines and light radiates from it. And we're now out of initiative. And she calls you forth, Theodis. And she pours holy water on you. And the poison, even that you were feeling residually, is healed.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, indeed.
And she casts a Cure Wounds on you, Theodis, which heals you for 19 points of damage.
Yeah. Thank you.
And Copernicus says, "Oh, well, that was. I haven't been in a little scuffle in a minute.
Yeah, it's
It's
been a
nice
while.
to stand up to something that actually we can fight. And that worm? Oh, that was not fair.
Yeah, and I guess before that was Blake's parents, right? We didn't get into
We
the other
couldn't
fights.
really fight Blake's parents, no.
Well, what was before
And we had to
that?
run away from all the people in the hive. Couldn't kill them. There was
Did
like
we
50
get in
of
a
them.
fight while we were
The
in Sigil?
Leviathan?
Did we get
Oh,
into
the
I think we
hive.
kept our nose clean.
Did we get into
You got hit by a rock with some trolls,
When was that?
Copernicus. We were running from
yeah,
the
there
people's
was the
court.
worm.
Yeah, that was. Oh, the worm. Yeah, the worm. But I mean, like, a real fight. You know, whatever.
That was
Yeah.
a scuffle.
Scuffle that did a lot of damage to you, as I remember.
An unexpected one, given where we are. Those kind of creatures don't typically come here. They said something about bringing somebody back to Barovia.
They did say.
Yeah.
And Elsha says, just empty threats from a dark god. It's said that Earthamon has pledged his allegiance to Bane, who
Dead 3.
serves. I'm sorry.
One of the dead 3.
Um,
Bane, Maul,
Elsha-
and Merkul. Or Merkul. They're quite
Elsha nods,
evil.
and she says, yes, there's no dark force in the planes of dread which they haven't acquainted themselves with, and no method too vile or corrupt that they would take in seeking their aims. Let's set up camp.
Capsule core.
I yeah, I remember that I'm holding the sword and I flip it over and hand the hilt back to Bast and say, I believe this is yours.
I reach for it, and then it poofs into my hand. Thanks.
That never gets old for me.
That's a pretty cool ability.
Thank you. I forget I have it sometimes.
And you can see that there's still another image of Bast kind of waving in his form. How long does that spell last? A minute?
Yeah. Eventually, a few seconds later, I say, later, bud, and I bump Nux with myself, and he disappears.
And it's about at the same time that Elsha's holy symbol stops glowing, the way the banishment spell works. She needs to concentrate on it.
But also, if it is returned to its home place, they stay there, if she concentrates the whole time.
Yeah. I think she has to concentrate on it for a minute.
Yeah. And now it's back home.
Yep. In the abyss. And we're squarely out of initiative.
Whew. That wasn't...
Cool.
Well, that wasn't bad for me at all. Kid, you got fucked up.
Bernicus says, oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
fine. Dusts himself off.
Yes.
I really don't like you. Gonna have to get you a bodyguard.
I thought I'd be better with my robes. They still want me.
Well, I guess we should
They
pump
hate
up
you
the
'cause they ain't
house.
Bernicus says, I guess you just have one of those faces. And he pops up. Yeah, we'll say that. I guess that there's just enough room for his little capsule house in this area, the clearing in the forests. It's a little bit cramped, and I think that it probably knocks over at least one of the trees. But Copernicus doesn't very much care. You can cook this time, I guess, Blake, if you're going to be so funny about it.
I'm just messing with you, dude. Aww.
I don't think you were just messing.
You got a little
wasn't.
sensitive.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll make you your favorite. What is your favorite?
Road stew?
That doesn't involve things you find dead on the side of the road, does it?
Well, personally, just a rat on a stick, and I'm happy. But
Right.
whatever you want to make Blake, Sonny.
Thank you. I like being called blood. Yeah, let's find us some rats on a stick. Talking about it's making me hungry.
My
It
snake gets out of its.
Hey, Elsha,
Carriage.
you said something about being able to create food and water.
Alsha says that she doesn't have that spell prepared
Hmm.
at present. But let me see. And she digs into her pouches and she finds a scroll of create food and water. And she says, "Is there anything in particular you're wanting to feast on today?"
Beef.
Just stew.
I want a cow from the plain of cows in hell. They have the best beef.
Hell has cows? Damn.
Yes.
And she can't hide her incredulity and offense that you would ask a truly saved
oh shit,
cleric of
look,
Paylor.
Look, I'm sorry. I am from what we call like a melting pot. Like all kinds come through Sigil. We eat all kinds of food. You get used to different tastes. I didn't mean anything by it. They have unbiased. They have great meat.
So it says that
We
she
talk
can
about a
create
whole cow or just the meat?
45 pounds of food.
It's a lot of food.
That's a lot of food. We could dry some. Have some cow for the road.
But that it is
Bland.
generally bland. Yes.
Yeah, let's just
so
cook
you need
something
your
else.
spices.
That's fine. You don't need to use the scroll. You use that for some charity.
And she
We
nods her
have
head.
spices.
You have provisions also that you got from Alamora's.
Mhm.
She had quite the extensive and well-kept kitchen.
All right, get out of the way. I'm cooking breakfast for dinner.
19 to scavenge up some stuff for the road stew.
Bass pulls out a pan you've never seen him use before. It's just cast
Yeah,
irons.
you actually are able to find rabbits and stoats, a fuzzy little ferret that you're able to make up. Copernicus kind of insists on doing the cleaning, and he's sort of he eats the creature's livers. He just holds it over the fire for a second, and he noms on
Bast,
some of their organs.
Bast is gonna open up a cabinet and find there's a cast iron with half circle divots in it. It's like, oh, perfect. And he's gonna heat that up. He's gonna make some batter, and he's gonna take those meat bits. He's gonna put the batter into those half circles, put the meat bit in there, turn them as they cook, and make these little balls with meat in it, kind of like some takoyaki.
Very good.
Wow.
You're quite the chef.
Damn, dude.
I had
You're
to-
so modest, Bass.
No,
Wow.
I owed an octopus a lot of money once, and so I had to work at his stand for a few weeks.
Oh yeah, Ollie never let that go, did he?
Yeah. So I learned how to make a lot of takoyaki. It was really uncomfortable they would lay the eggs and then crack them and then fry the octopus that would come out and
That
cook
does sound a little bit gross.
it. Yeah, it was delicious.
That does sound a little bit gross. It was
Yeah, they just got
great.
all of their arms going, cooking and cracking eggs. They got the chef hat. They said, I didn't know what the hell they were saying, but they taught me how to cook.
Hi. Hi.
Copernicus says, where in the city is this octopus stand? I'll have to check it out.
He moves around. It's like one of those food carts. Kind of always
Got
rolls
it.
around.
Got it.
Try the market
And
word.
We'll say that it is Olivier's, not Ollie's, because Ollie is a different one of the dirtbag citizens.
Oh, there was already an octopus before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Copernicus seems very impressed.
I assure you, Elsha, this has no flavorings from the lower planes. If anything, it's flavoring from an inner plane of water.
And she says, I've been in Celestia so long now that even just mention of the lower spheres can be a bit off-putting to me.
In your head, are you at the top of the circle?
And she
What?
Because I assure you, you're skewed to the left.
she says that in the cosmology around which she was raised,
You rotate.
Paylor is at the center.
Oh, interesting.
And she points to the top of Mount Celestia, which you can still, I mean, it's sort of visible from all angles, sort of out the window of this building. And she says, it is from the light which all things are given life, and it is to the light in which all things will return.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Copernicus
So
says, that sounds a little bit dark to me.
Sorry, it's in our nature. It's
All
in.
things.
We're cagers. It's in our nature to debate anyone's belief. Keep it to yourself, kid.
Copernicus nods his head. And,
You ever been to Sigil?
Yeah, want to go to Sigil?
Elsha says that she needed to travel to the realm of Arcadia at one point, and it was the most expeditious way that she was brought from the floating city Nag-Hazim through a portal into the city, but she only very briefly stayed. She stayed in the ladies' ward for a night or 2 nights at the 12 Factals bar, and took a portal to Arcadia.
That's a
What
good.
did you make of it?
That's a good layover place. You gotta come and spend some time if you ever are freed from your eternal servitude.
And she laughs and nods her head.
If that ever allots you some free time for your good deeds. I'll show you some real nice places that you will actually like. They cater to all kinds of tastes. I'll show you where your bosses hang out. I like the relaxing Breath of the Wild house music.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yep, and
So,
they're
Elsha,
in-
you said about a day. This is the second time we're sleeping, so we should be pretty close. Right?
And she says that that it isn't very far until the Temple of Bahamut, and beyond that, the border territory by which Earthamon has erected his tower.
Nice. When they
I
mentioned...
still have
Mhm. Go ahead.
I still have bad feelings about that Diego.
That's exactly what I was about to
I
say.
don't think
As soon as they bring
Yeah.
up the Temple of Bahamut, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go just have a little peek around, make sure no one's been following us, and I go invisible and go outside, try sneaking around, see if anybody is hanging out, been trailing us or anything.
Make me a survival or investigation check.
$21.
Very good. You don't notice anything in the nearby vicinity, but if you go about 40 feet into the forest, off in one direction, you do notice very large footprints in the mudded ground. They're much too big to be a human's. They appear as if they are talons or claws of some kind or the other.
Do they match the creatures that we thought?
No, they're
Okay.
much bigger.
I'll I will go ahead and just pull out a bit of charcoal and one of the little notebooks that I have, just do a sketch of the footprint and come back.
It's bigger than you can get in one place, but you can get sort of the apex of it on with a heel, essentially.
Oh,
Where
I'm
the threads come together.
sketching, not rubbing.
Oh, got it.
Yeah,
You're gonna sketch it.
yeah. Just like an outline of it, and then I'll just
Make a nature check.
Okay. 10 with a +3.
That's actually just enough. Your brain clicks on, and there's just one word: dragon.
Whoa, shit! It's a small dragon. You got a young one.
Yes,
Is
it does appear to be a younger dragon.
Well, that's fine. We're in a good plane. It should be shiny, if not eccentric. Hello? I just say hello.
There's no creature nearby, though.
I still kind of holler out, hello, and I turn off my invisibility.
And there's a rustling and a not especially very close. Deeper in the forest,
A good
but
dragon.
not the way from which you came.
Oh. Well, I announce myself to you present in the forest. Me and my companions have taken residence but for the night. Good night. Kind of wanted to talk to a dragon.
And you return.
We're
to
friendly.
your-
You can come have a cup of tea. I say as I close the door. Well, I don't know.
Who are you talking to?
Oh, I don't know what it was. I found a dragon footprint, and then I heard a snarl, and so maybe it was a young dragon, but they didn't reveal themselves to me, so that is inconclusive.
I hope it was a dragon.
I did
I want
too.
another dragon friend.
I look at Copernicus.
I mean, it'll be fine.
Wasn't there some mention of a dragon earlier?
Oh yes, the
You can
god
see
of this
Copernicus
plane
a little
is-
bit shuddering.
The god of this plane is the biggest, goodest dragon.
Elsha says one of the gods.
Yes.
One of the biggest.
Yeah, we're sure.
She says it's always been very interesting to me because the story is that Bahamut essentially acquired so many magical artifacts and legendary objects that its power became inevitable, and it ascended into the status of deity simply through the acquisition of material goods.
That's
And that its castle itself, you'll be able to see it when we travel tomorrow.
we've got a whole group of people in Sigil who firmly believe that godhood is just the acquisition of power. So that tracks.
And Elsha nods her head and says, "That's not what we teach in the church. But I understand."
What do you teach?
She smiles and she looks over and says, "Please sit down, my child."
Oh God, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Hey, you would help me in the kitchen, right?
I just
Yeah.
I'll
You still
sit
wanna?
up.
Oh,
I like how the vampire
I'm
asked
just
about
looking at
the.
everyone leave.
Yeah, yeah. We go. Yeah.
Time for bed.
Copernicus, want to arm wrestle?
It's something I said.
It's so funny that the vampire asked the priest about their religion and is cool with
That's
it.
at the beginning of a joke.
Yeah.
She shows you a little booklet with a diagram of a young woman who was born
Yeah.
into a realm of darkness that looks very similar to Barovia. And it's said that her name is Saint Markovia, or the priestess of Saint Markovia, as she is sometimes known. And that though she was born into the darkest realm in the deepest plane of dread, she, merely through the force of her own goodwill, created an artifact, a magical sun, which would bring light to the realm, and that in order to hide it away from the tyrant who ruled over this place, she buried the sun deep in the ground, so that it would bring light to the vines, to the vineyards of the realm. And you can see that it's based on Barovia, and actually there are some sites that you might be able to like specifically recognize as like scenic shots of places in Barovia where you were that were written into this book. And she sort of looks you over very knowingly, and she says, no matter who or what we are born as, there's always a chance to return to the light. And she takes her book and she puts it away. And she says, now, fare you to bed, my child, for we have a long adventure tomorrow. Copernicus is still eating. You can see him like pulling at the bones of some of the creatures that he's helped hunt with Blake Sunny, and says, "You are you into roasted marrow, Blake?" Starts tossing the bones onto a skillet, frying them.
Goes down just the same as regular marrow.
That's a great answer.
And Copernicus says, I guess you can kind of blend. It's like a sauce. Oh, it's very nice roasted.
Hey, you're the gourmet, dude. I just eat what I like. And Blake is gonna try some of his roasted marrow tentatively. With the, like, very picky eater kind of energy. Like,
Which is
taking a little
funny
bite
for
of it
an
and being
owl.
like, I love it. Yeah. And then, like, trying not to eat the rest of it. Like,
Yeah, Copernicus doesn't roll very well on his skill check, but yeah, so it's roasted, but it's not like professional quality.
Okay, so and that's when my deception check to tell him that I love it. So he thinks I
Totally
really like
believes
his
it.
shitty
Yeah.
arrows.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I guess I didn't think it was that. Thanks, Blake Sunny.
Oh, yeah, dude, I could eat this all day.
And unless anyone has anything else, we can take our sleepy rest time.
Sleepy rest time.
Sleepy rest time.
Sleepy rest time. Cue the music.
Very good. And you all wake up in the next day, and again there is sun basking over the realm of Celestia that falls in through the forest and slants and cuts into the room through the window.
What a vibe.
There's a tranquil energy. You can hear the sound of birds stirring in the distance.
Bast is up doing some calisthenics and in the sun.
Make a perception check, everyone.
Who's not here? 22.
Elsha rolls a 19 on
17.
the die.
9.
Cool. So if you roll above a 15, you notice outside of one of the windows of the house, you can see that it appears as if the building is covered in shadow. It doesn't seem like a natural shadow given the dimensions of the house and the placement of the sun. It's as if a creature is either on top of the building or on their adjacent tree. It seems to be rather large. You think that it's at least 20, 30 feet tall?
So I want to imagine that when Bast, he woke up a little earlier than everyone, stretched and walked straight out the front door and like didn't look back at the house. He walked out the front door, walked like 10 feet or so and started stretching. So whatever's up on the roof is he hasn't seen. He's like,
yeah, it's looking down at you. Yeah.
And I've been doing this for like a good hour.
You turn around and you can see a young brass dragon curled up in a ball on one of the treetops, having kind of ducked away, and it points his head up at you. Hello.
Hello. Have you been there
Hi.
the whole time?
Well, not the entire time, but yeah, I kept watch for you guys.
Like what you see? I kid. It's Bast and a pleasure.
You, yeah, the name's Diego. We met, actually. That was me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Hello
at this point,
again.
Copernicus comes out of the house. Hey, what's the deal?
It's a
with
dragon.
this?
Copernicus,
Oh.
it's Diego.
Oh, that's cool.
Don't
And
run
he
off
walks
it.
back
Don't-
into the house.
You hear the door lock, like
I don't want to go back out there. There's a dragon.
that's a.
I like
I
that.
unlock it again and push Copernicus out.
Yeah, I go out.
honestly,
So I walk out as well.
in my head, he goes
Didn't
into the
Elsha
house.
say there's no magical security in here?
Yeah, in my head, he goes into the house, and then the house turns into a capsule. That's what he would have done. That's what.
That's good. We'll say that it's still a house for this
Yeah, oh, no,
this
okay.
moment. When
Yeah.
everyone leaves, he just kind of fine comes out and disappears the house.
Wow, that's a big dragon.
Not really.
Copernicus says, it's kind of a wormling.
Yeah, they're young at best.
Guys, I'm trying to big him up. He can hear you.
Diego
it's
says, yes.
Diego.
Dragons do have very good hearing. That's
Well,
true.
yes, and you're also very understanding. Good to see you again, Diego.
It's
How did
one
you...
of those stereotypes. I could hear you like you were right next to me last night. I wasn't sure if I should say anything.
I
Oh,
told
damn
you
you.
you could come in. You heard me yelling. At
I'm
night.
kind of shy. Oh, I'm sorry.
You didn't seem that way earlier. You eagerly ran up to us. This is the third personality I've seen from you.
And he says, it's true, I'm a little bit of a ham in my human form. But
Well, this is a resplendent form.
he says, I was going to offer all of you a ride. If your mission is noble as it is, and what have you,
Have you
I guess
seen
they'll be
Elsha?
able.
I want to
And-
ride the dragon. I want to ride the dragon.
Were you testing us earlier with the whole breaking into the temple thing?
And the dragon says, well, you can get a great view of the temple from up on my back, and if you wanted to try and go down into it, I mean, I could help you get a better vantage.
You
You can
said
scope it
break
out. You
in
can find some
earlier.
information.
We're not trying to break into this place.
And
Hope you don't have any
Elsha
delusions
says,
of
this
grandeur."
doesn't seem like a very reasonable mission. We have a mission that we're on
I
besides
don't think we need to
this."
go to the temple, right, Elsha?
And Elsha nods her head. We'd best avoid it.
Yes.
It's possible if we win, so we might get transported off to another realm or
All right,
something
Diego,
worse.
spill it.
Don't say
What the
that.
hell is up with you? Why do you want so badly to take us to this temple?
And Diego says, I should have of the loot inside of it.
Typical.
Untold splendors. It's too much for a dragon to resist. I've come all the way to Celestia, and yet, dragons
Bronze. You don't-
are, well, they're especially forbidden.
You
in
should
the
have a
temple.
coterie of kobolds showering you with treasures. You shouldn't have to steal your treasures from the god of your kind.
And Diego nods his head, and he seems really affirmative about what you're saying, and then he just starts kind of crying, oh, no,
Oh, shit.
oh,
What
no.
you done?
You made the dragon cry.
I've never done that before.
Dude, you need to go to
And,
dragon therapy.
The dragon says, I don't want to have a cult. It doesn't seem like the right thing to do, but I just want
it
this
doesn't have to
treasure.
be a-
If you
it doesn't have to
just
be a cult, it
travel
doesn't have
up
to be a
with me, man,
cult.
you'll see the temple come up. And he attempts to grab you.
Oh, shit.
Do you want to make a strength
No, I
athletics
let
check?
it happen.
You do that, and he pulls you up and flies into the air.
Oh, shit. I
and
thought this was just like a comfort
boss.
hug.
You're able to see Celestia like you haven't seen it before. Beautiful brooks of water, silvery ocean stream
just gonna
far
say-
away that you can. It's like a portal into the astral plane.
Look, holy shit. Look, man, it doesn't have to be a cult if you treat them well and don't, sacrifice them and stuff.
you can see
know,
the various trees.
Give
of the
them their own
forest.
little personal hordes.
It gives way to a couple of civilizations here and there. There's an amazing mountaintop, and you can see mystical Pegasi almost dancing their way up amidst the cliffs among the archons and pilgrims who go along the main trails, which make up little dots of light. That,
And the whole time,
slowly
I'm
eke
just
their
like,
way.
Whoa, cool, but also just go do some good deeds for some people. Go save a village from another
They pull you up
dragon.
into a cloud and pull you down, and that's when you're able to see Bahamut's resplendent palace.
Also, let's not go there. That's a good place. You shouldn't steal from your god. Hey, Diego.
You can see that the palace is glittering with gems that are built into the building itself. It looks almost as if it's made out of crystal. When you get closer to it, you can see that it is instead made out of some kind of magical mineral, like mithril. The windows are lined with gems and set with silver and gold.
Ooh.
There are ivory battlements and passageways, gold encrusted doorways and chains that tie up the moat. You can also see that it is surrounded in a swirling river of gold. It's got a number of very, very high walls with gems like rubies, the size of buildings that are lining it, and is surrounded by what appear to be 4 separate towering whirlwinds, among other things. It also looks like there's some kind of magical barrier around it. You can see a number of constructs on the grounds. You can also see what appear to be a number of glyphs that are floating in the midst of the courtyards themselves.
As soon as like all of the detail has come into view, Bass just shut the fuck up. He's just like
And
silent, just
Yes.
agape at all of.
and the dragon flies you up further and closer than you think should be acceptable, and then veers you very close up against a magical barrier that you're inches away from, and you can feel the force of it slowly repelling against you, and it pulls you up into the sky and then dives back and returns you amidst the party.
Bass just has money signs for eyes. Shakes him away
How is
and
that
says,
Diego says, and that's just the name of
"That
it."
is truly the most disgusting display of absurd wealth imaginable.
I could just take one of those gems. I could
It is
crown for my horde.
absurd, to use a very small word in comparison, to the level of extravagant wealth that creature has. That is. I can't even.
Money?
Elsha says you should not want for such things.
I don't want for it. It is absurd.
Diego says, I do.
It's
I want
like.
with all of my being.
Could solve a lot of problems,
What a.
We're not gonna
but it
take
would give us
money.
more.
That
Elsha
is.
says no living soul can walk among the temple of Bahamut.
If anything, all this does for me is throw your entire religion into a very bad light. Sorry. If you, I don't know if it's a religion, but like this
Elsha
whole place,
smiles somewhat smugly when you say that.
this whole place, that is fucked.
And
There's so much more intrinsic
he doesn't
good to be done.
say anything, but
Like, if this is a good god, there's so much more good to be done than fucking that.
and we'll say that the dragon Diego takes out a small it looks like an ordinary piece of wood, and they snap it in half, and there is a little hologram image of the castle itself. You're all able to see.
You couldn't do that earlier?
Diego says, This is where dreams are made.
Where the fuck was this stick earlier?
I had to show you.
You know the show that...
You wouldn't believe me. Tell them that it's true.
Yeah, no, it's fucking true. Look, obviously, you can see where a dragon would be coming from when it comes to all of that. Look, Diego, we're not helping you, bud.
And Diego says, and I'll still grant you safe passage.
I don't trust that. I'm sorry. Our passage
I
will
don't
be
trust
safe
like that.
enough.
Elsha says, it's fine. And she goes up to the dragon and starts to snoot his stout. She feeds him a handful of gold. Yes, it's okay. It's okay.
Elsha, did your willing to trust people ever get you into trouble during your adventures?
Elsha says, through all my travels, none have corrupted my heart, and this dragon can no more than any of you.
Is that a dig?
She looks around at the group of you. Copernicus especially seems very, looks into the camera like Jim. He has a moment.
Fine. Can you carry all of us? No offense.
Let me
Some
see
of us can
about that.
fly.
It is just a large dragon. It would probably be able to carry 2 of you. Theodis,
And Copernicus easily.
well, Copernicus could fly also.
All right.
Can Elsha fly?
Elsha can't, and she would probably be the best. It does have 2 claws, so it could theoretically pick up 2 people.
How you said we were close, right, Elsha?
It's
Is this necessary?
it's still several hours of travel.
I'm okay with walking several hours, not being carried by a dragon's claw.
Yeah, the dragon
No
says that
offense.
it'll just tail you, and Elsha kind of just nods off, and
Fine.
she looks at you all in the way that you sometimes find yourself looking at clueless people. Just like, trust me, is kind of what her expression says to you.
I don't trust like that.
Fine.
Diego, seeing everyone's discomfort with the situation, keeps a somewhat wide berth as he flies into the air, and after about an hour's worth of traveling, you break through the forest, and the rest of the party, you are all able to see this opulent castle in the distance. You're not quite able to see all of the details like the glyphs in the courtyard and the rivers of gold where the moats are, but you can see especially closely one of the towering cyclones that seems to protect this very, very large building or collection of buildings. Copernicus says, "Oh, whoa, wow."
Don't get any ideas.
Yes, it's fine. We're gonna wrap it up just in a moment.
Yeah, I tell Copernicus don't get any ideas.
Copernicus says, all right, I'm gonna keep it in the back of my mind, I'll tell you that.
Oh.
Elsha just kind of shakes her head. Disapprovingly.
Not even in the backseat, dude. Not even in the backseat.
And
I would have read the
wait.
claws.
Oh no. We're walking, it's following us.
yeah, Elsha takes you around the side of this castle as the space of the day wanes and stars again sort of overtake the sky, and you find yourselves walking along and through a valley pathway along which there is a silvery river snaking its way through. And you follow the path. There aren't very many creatures that you're able to see. Occasionally, either a fish or something like very fast-moving, more smooth-skinned than tritons. They're known as sea elves in the book, but I'm thinking more like the Zora. Splash their way into the water. They may not necessarily engage with you, but you do see them as you go along. And eventually you find yourselves passing by a bridge that you can see an angel continue to destroy in various magical and physical ways, smashing it with its mace, and as the bridge is sort of reconstituted and it continues to throw down spells and destruction at it, there's like a little passageway between realms, Bitopia and Celestia specifically, that a barrier is put through. Elsha explains to you that Bitopia has closed off its borders to Celestia since the great sleep of the elves, the great sorrow as it's become known.
The big sleep.
And as you pass your way through the area, you can see off in the distance a very tall tower with a wrought, crooked top spire and dark shadows which encompass sort of the upper rings. And in the area around the tower, it appears as if all of the natural life has fallen into barren decay. And you can see beyond it what look like, if you're familiar with the lore, Arcadian forests, only there's something very much darker in the appearance of them. Imagine a dark Arcadian forest. And that's what you see. And Elsha says, well, there's no turning back now. We must hurry to our mission.
Oh, trust me, we've been past turning points plenty of times.
And she nods and leads you up as Diego flies off back through the valley pass from which you came. And you hurry your way toward the tower, not bothering to engage with the age-old Biotopia or any of the other notable scenery around here, some standing rocks and stuff like
I
that.
imagine Elsha is kind of really guiding us forward, keeping us focused.
Yeah. There are a number of very interesting natural rock formations and passageways, what look like even portals that are swirling around that you're able to see in this part, the sort of planar intersection, as it were. But she leads you to the tower specifically, and you stand before its massive black wrought metal doors. And Elsha yells out, in the name of all the great light, open now. And the doors pull themselves open. Copernicus says, is that easy? What? And Elsha points with her mace. Let's go.
Onward.
We'll go together.
Onward.
Very good. And the group of you find yourselves in a grand entryway, or a grand foyer. It's quite a bit bigger than it seems like the outside of this castle could contain. It's about 150 yards in diameter. There are two very large staircases that are going up. There's a massive chandelier in the center entrance of the room. All of the windows appear to be made out of an ornate and abstracted stained glass. And there is also a statue, what looks something a little bit like the Trevi Fountain, statue of a number of merfolk. Well, actually, instead of merfolk, we'll say that it's a statue with what looks like a single werewolf in their transformed form. You'll have to forgive me, but very detailed. They're very ripped. The statue stands in the far central area of the room. There appear to be two passageways on either side, which have been laid over with cement, and you can't quite see the second story from here, but there is a resplendent second story balcony. It has some columns holding it up. What you do notice is the images of the figures of two elves, which are being suspended in midair nearby the chandelier. Closer to the ground, about 40 feet up. and you hear a dark voice call out from the depths of the tower. And it says, "Welcome now, travelers, for this tower will be your tomb." And the doors close behind you. And that's where we're going to stop.
Oh,
I've
Very
heard
melodramatic.
I've heard better dungeon pre-recorded entrance messages.
It's fair.
I bet they say that to all the boys.
Exactly. I bet you say that to
I bet
everyone.
that's their voicemail.
That's just Bast. Like
I like their voicemail.
I feel like Elsha's heard it a lot too.
Elsha probably has heard that specific line. Rolls her eyes.
Doesn't get any better the 30th time.
That was a fun one.
Good session.
Yeah,
That's a
Elsha
really
was
fun one, yeah.
Elsha was a character in the
Good
first
session.
campaign I ever ran, which was
Elsha is one of my favorite PC characters I've ever run. And she is truly blessed by Lathander, which is an aside. We don't have
Hell
to get
yeah.
into all the details, but the dice have come through for her.
Bless the
I
dice.
really have.
by stream.
Yes, thank you
Bye,
everyone for
stream.
watching. See you again.